What's up, everybody? This your boy C4.
And this is your boy The Sith, and welcome to our very first episode of Lords of Gaming. In this podcast, it's going to be all about video games in general, what's going on all around video game entertainment, from developers, from the games community, from the PlayStation 3, PC, the Wii, and the Xbox 360. What games are you playing right now? Like, what games are you enjoying as of this week?
The games I've been playing lately have been I've been playing a lot of Fallout New Vegas, which is it's a really deep game. Combat isn't always the best, but it's deep so far. Also been playing WWE 12. Pretty good game. I've been playing that with you.
Yeah.
And also been playing some throwing it back, playing a little bit of NBA Street Home Court. I haven't played that game in a while, but taking it back, having a little blast with that. Okay. What about you?
All right. Well, you know me. I'm playing Star Wars, of course. My name is the Sith. I gotta stay on point. So Star Wars: The Old Republic for me, a wonderful MMORPG for the PC. I definitely recommend people getting that if you got a PC that can run. Tekken 6, I gotta get ready for Tekken Tag. I'm a arcade fighter. I'm all about the juggling. So fuck Street Fighter. I will.
You're gonna make a lot of people mad with that.
I am playing Super Street Fighter as well, and that's another game I am playing. Because I have to get ready for Street Fighter versus Tekken, because I gotta show some Street Fighter people where the Tekken fans at. So I gotta get ready for that.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out as well. I'm not too big on fighters, but I will be checking that out. I will
give you an ass whooping.
I'm pretty sure you will. I talk a lot of shit, but I'm gonna keep it real on that. I'm pretty sure you will.
So, since we got all those out the way, let's talk about last year. Last year, we had a lot of disappointing games from last year. But there was a light in the darkness, and there were some good games out there. So I feel as we should talk about what was good, what was bad in last year's gaming universe. So let's start with the disappointing games of 2011 for you, C4. What was disappointing for you? Give me your 5 list.
Well, number one for me was Michael Jackson: The Experience, and I know a lot of people already had disappointments. They already planned on being disappointed with that game because it was for the Connect. But I saw a different side. For me, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, so for me, I couldn't wait for that.
A little bit of moonwalking for you?
Yeah, a little bit of moonwalking, which I did enjoy. I liked the way they did that. That was the bright point of that game, the moonwalking. But
don't grab your crotch, just doing the dance.
Yeah, it had its bright points, but for me it was a disappointment because there was no Michael Jackson in it. It kind of lacked that full Michael Jackson appearance in the game. So that was one of my biggest disappointments of last year. Also was WWE All Stars. We both WWE fans here, so.
Yes, we are, and that game was pretty goddamn fucking awful.
Yeah, it was a disappointment because it lacked any depth. It was like a carbon copy of the TNA Impact video game, and it really didn't have much depth to it, gameplay or story-wise. So that was my number 2 disappointment. And my number 3 was 007 GoldenEye Reloaded for the the arcade on the Xbox and PSN. That's on my disappointment list because they pretty much turned something that I loved in my childhood into Call of Duty. And for anybody who knows me knows I have no love or respect for Call of Duty. So that's why that's on my list.
And that might be a topic for future upcoming videos.
Yes. So that was number 3. Number 4 was Brink.
Yes. Talk about Brink.
waited for a very long time on Brink. And this is one of the reasons why I hate trailers, because they sell falsehoods. Trailers are evil. Trailers are evil.
They juked the shit out of you. Just admit it.
Oh,
They juked
yes.
the shit out of you.
Yes, they did. They did. But luckily, there's a bright side.
Okay.
I got it from GameFly, so I didn't waste no money. But it was still a disappointment, because if it was in fact good, I would have paid for it.
Right.
But it was a disappointment. Gameplay, the story was damn near non-existent.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, what's the story? Exactly.
Yeah, it was damn near non-existent, and the gameplay was nothing like they bragged about the trailers. The parkour was just blah. It was boring.
Damn.
And my last biggest disappointment of 2011 kind of hurts my heart to say it, but it was Saints Row the Third.
Damn, I know how big of a fan you are for Saints Row.
Yeah, played Saints Row 2 from 2008 till 2011, and yeah, it kind of hurt my heart to put that on my disappointment list, but THQ dropped the ball with Saints Row. All my hardcore Saints Row fans out there know what I mean when I say this, because it was no depth. It was a whole bunch of wacky, insane, over-the-top moments, but there was none of those tear-jerking moments like when Aisha got her head cut off in Part 2, or, you know, when you fighting at the funeral with Johnny Gat. It was none of those big epic moments, or none of those, you know, realistic, bring me back down to earth moments. So that was number 5 on my list.
Ouch.
Yeah,
well, I guess I got my list ready. I'm going to start off from the top to bottom. Number 5, Dead Island. Now, you know me. I was really big on this game. I was also on my other channel, which I was just so psyched. I did an unboxing. I was telling my friends, you know, this game is going to remind me of 28 Weeks Later, 28 Days, Dawn of the Dead. This game was going to be epic. When you play it, it was good for a time. It had what I wanted for the time being, but 2 weeks later, it's like I need flavor. I need something else, and the story was just so Like
it just didn't have that lasting appeal to it.
Yeah, it really didn't. And the missions was like, what the fuck? Like, you want me to find diamonds for you out of nowhere, like in a zombie apocalypse, or you want me to get you some booze? I mean,
or a teddy bear?
Yeah, you want me to get you a teddy bear? Like, what kind of shit is this? It's like, I don't know. Like, that game was just so disappointing to me. I'm surprised it's not even in my number 1 disappointment. But I'm being lenient. Because it's a zombie game. I'm feeling the love. 4, Marvel vs. Capcom. Oh, dear God.
Oh, man.
I'm a fighter. I love fighting games. But this game, let me tell you, I went and got the collector's edition when I had a PlayStation 3, stood in line, got the strategy guide, and, played it for a little bit. And I'm like, this game is just too damn easy. Like, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it was a challenge just to even get started. And then with all the characters, it had a different feel to them. With this, they all felt like they had the same feel, that same mechanic or whatever. And with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom that came out just recently, I mean, I don't even want to get too started on this, but the fact that they got, with the DLC and the lack of good character rosters, except for Deadpool, and Virgil and Dante and all those good people. Except for that, I mean, they got Rocket Raccoon in there, Phoenix Wright in there. I mean, the character roster is just pretty lame. It's just really lame, and the gameplay was just very goddamn terrible. 3, Final Fantasy 13. I am a new Final Fantasy fan. I started playing Final Fantasy 11. Actually, no, that's a lie. 10 and 12. And a little bit of 11. And I really liked 12 a lot. And I was thinking that 13 was going to go into 12. And when I played this game, it was just too linear. It felt like the developer was holding my hand. Like, all right, look, sis, come this way. I want you to go down this little path. I want you to go down this woods that looks like it's big. Like, it looks like these woods are a big environment for you, but I just want you to go down this pathway for me, okay? And then when you do that, you're going to have a nice boss battle, and then you're going to, and then the characters.
It didn't get the name Final Corridor 13 for no reason.
So, I mean, and then the characters. I did not fall in love with these characters. You had Snow that reminded me of John Cena. I don't like John Cena. I put that out there. I mean, he was a goody wannabe hero, and it did not work for him. That character was awful. Sarah didn't even last that long. She was a crystal. Who else was there? Zaz, his name was Zaz. The most black stereotype character. He had a chicken on his head.
And his afro.
And his afro. And his summoning monster was what? A car? I mean, really. The character, and then Hope. Oh, man. Hope and, what's her face? The really perky one. Oh, those two are very terrible. Those characters are awful. And the gameplay was just so dull. So it was not, I could not sink into this game, that type of gameplay. It was just not for me. So Final Fantasy 13, definitely a disappointment. Battlefield 3, a lot of people might disagree with me on this one, but Battlefield 3 was a disappointment for me, and I'm a Battlefield fan, but as I'm playing it on the PC, it's all right on the PC. It's good for a while, but it's not gonna keep you playing for hours and hours and hours unless you're a Battlefield fanboy, which I'm not, sitting here complaining if you are. But, if you're the type of person like me that wants, to get immersed in the game, I don't feel Battlefield did it this time. Like, I felt Battlefield 2 was better than Battlefield 3. And that's saying something. I mean,
I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
Because I know you were, huge on it before it came out. And I know you went out and actually bought a PC just so you can play that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do you think it's worthy of the 9s and the 10s that it received?
A little bit. I can see how it got the 9s and 10s, because if you have a really good PC, my PC is running standard at best. It can run the game at minimum. But even if it was to play on a high-quality PC, it wouldn't change that much for me. For me, it was about the gameplay, and it really and sadly it felt like it wanted to be Call of Duty, but in a big sense, in a big map with vehicles.
Okay.
And that's what the big disappointment was for me. And last, WWE 12. Me and you have big conversations about this. We might have one in the future. But WWE 12 was a huge disappointment. They were hyping up the Predator engine and hyping up customization and hyping up universe mode. And when you get into the game, it was And once again, it was It was like, where was the change? It felt like the only thing they did was just make the gameplay just a tad bit smoother. But
yeah, that's what I kept telling a lot of people. A lot of people kept going, but it's Predator technology. But I mean, in reality, from what all I got was, they changed it from the right analog stick to buttons.
Pretty much.
And breakable moves now. And some of them still aren't breakable.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, with the breakable moves, it's good to have. Let me just say, it's really good to have that ability if you are playing one-on-one, a triple threat. I'm sorry, a triple threat.
Yeah.
Because if you have a triple threat match and I break up your move, I can do my finisher and end you and then do a move on that guy to make sure he stays down. But if it was like a 6-man, a 4-man, it gets pretty chaotic after that, and it's just a bunch of people just kicking you in the back and dropping people. It's
pretty much.
You don't get a chance to really pull a move off. So WWE 13 makes up for that.
Yeah.
But there was a glimmer of hope of 2011. Some of these games we talked about were very disappointing, but there was a glimmer of light to be shined in 2011. So let's talk about the best games 2011. C4, you want to start off?
Yeah, that glimmer of light was very small, very small. But there was a glimmer of light. I start off with my top as I did the last time. My number one game, which was the best game of last year for me, was Saints Row 3. And while I know a lot of people will be confused because I said that was one of my biggest disappointments, I'll elaborate on that. While it was a big disappointment, it still was one of the best games I played last year. Now, maybe it's because I love, sandbox open world games. And playing it with friends was a huge, enjoyment. So that is why it's still in my best games of 2011, as well as my biggest disappointments. It was one of the best games because, as I said, it was an open world. It was some missions in there that were actually fun. And playing it with friends was an enjoyment. Mm-hmm. So that's why that's on my best games of 2011 list. And number two was L.A. Noire, which was a great game in my opinion. I don't think it got the praise that it deserved for what it offered. That game was great graphically, story-wise, and, everything else. It was just a good game. Now, if you are, a person who enjoys shooting or Call of Duty action every 2 seconds, then you will find it pretty dull. But I thought that was a pretty good game. It was well developed.
I have a question. Can you kill citizens in that game?
You can hit them with a car, but other than that, no, you can't. You can't just walk down the street and shoot a person. No. It's not like Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row in that aspect. No, you can't.
Okay.
Number 3, Batman Arkham City. That's on my list because while I'm not one of the biggest Batman fans, I did enjoy that game. The story was a bit hit and miss at times, but it was a lot of nice surprises in that game, and I'm not going to ruin any of them for, anybody who's watching our podcast who hasn't played the game, but it was a lot of, big moments in that game that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be surprised by. Even you were surprised by the way the game ended.
Oh, yes.
So, that was a decent game for 2011. Next was Infamous 2. Now, Infamous 1 was pretty decent in my opinion. It wasn't groundbreaking by any means, but Infamous 2 really it took the bar a little higher on that one. Characters got a little deeper, gameplay got a little more robust, and things just got grander. So that was a good game for 2011 as well. And last but not least, Uncharted 3. Do I really need to elaborate on why that's on my list?
I don't think. Well, I mean, for people out there who's under a rock and probably haven't heard of it.
If you played Uncharted 1 and you enjoyed it, if you played Uncharted 2 and you enjoyed it, Uncharted 3 is pretty much, it's like that dessert that you can't get enough of. It keeps the ball rolling.
Cheesecake.
Yeah, so it's pretty much that cheesecake. It's a good game. It keeps the structure of it intact, and the story was still good. And that is the end of my best games for 2011.
Okay. All right. Now, for my fifth, on this list, Star Wars: The Old Republic. Now, it did just kind of start, but I did get a chance to play the beta a little bit early, and I have to say, this is a good contender for World of Warcraft. For people out there like me, who love Star Wars and who played the Old Republic back on Xbox, you guys are going to know where I'm coming from. The story is well done. The voice acting is just really good. I've made so many characters already, and sat through the cutscenes that I've already seen. That's how good it is. If I can sit there and watch the cutscene over and over and over and over again without skipping, it's doing its job. Graphics, are like Clone Wars. If you guys ever seen the cartoon Star Wars Clone Wars, you guys gonna know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that, but it does have that sense of realistic Star Wars universe feel to it, and I love that. And I would love to get into that a little bit more, but no time for that. Batman, that is also on my list for number 4. Just like C4 said, it was a lot of surprises, and the gameplay was wonderful. The ending was great. There was a lot of cameos. There were so much things a comic book fan as myself would love, and I'm not going to spoil anything of myself. Just look forward to, I'm just going to say, just look forward to another Batman, because, this game was so successful, so well done. They gotta make another one.
I'm kind of wishing they would make some for, make a Superman game, because Superman has had a raw deal.
Oh, yeah. Ever since Nintendo 64. Like, it has never been.
I wouldn't mind them making a Spider-Man game either. They need to branch out into superheroes, because they hit the peak with Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I wish Activision or whoever, or Tech Art, or whoever got Spider-Man. Treyarch.
Yeah.
They need to take a page from Rocksteady, because Rocksteady did a hell of a job here. They did a great job putting us in the world of Batman. Skyrim is my third. Skyrim is deep. It's hard to say that, you can beat Skyrim, because honestly, can you really beat Skyrim? Like, I mean, even if you go through the main quest of Skyrim, you still have so much to do. And that is what I love about a game. It's so much content. A game is as good as its content. Wonderful. If the content is good, the game is good. And I feel that this game is good just because of what I can do. If I feel like chopping some wood, chop some wood. If I feel like slaying a dragon, bam, there's a dragon up in the air. I can go kill that. If I feel like, destroying a wrong, shooting deer, rabbit, I don't know, a fucking elf, I can do that. It's there. It's there for me. So, like, there's no limit to what I can do in that game. Especially if you have a PC where you can mod it out and trick it out. I mean, it's endless. Uncharted 3 is my second game. And, I'll be honest, I don't have a PlayStation 3 as of now. But when I had one, I was playing Uncharted 1, and I fell in love. I fell in love with Uncharted deeply. Like, I fell in love with Nathan Drake, no homo, and he was a very good character to get into, and I loved his adventures. Now, Uncharted 2, where it was more out there, and for the people who played it, they know what I'm talking about. It was way too out there, but it still did its job, and it did a great job telling a story, and Naughty Dog is doing a hell of a job. I expect nothing less from Uncharted 3. I know it's a great game. It's multiplayer. I hear good things. I hear bad things. But really, honestly, it's all about the single-player campaign.
Exactly.
And that campaign was wonderful. So, believe it or not, this is going to be my number 1 because, like C4 said, it was so glimmer. There wasn't really that many good games. So I just kind of tossed this one in there with a bunch. Forza 4. Now, Forza 4 gets the number 1 spot for me because I love cars. I love racing, and I know C4 has told me that it's not really simulation driving, and I kind of agree to an extent. But the game is fun for its customization. I love customizing. I love customizing my car. It's so fucking nice. Unlike GTA, they don't give you that ability. It's really
no flaming.
I'm just like, okay, any other game right now, any other game that is involved on the track, besides Need for Speed Shift, this game does a well done job of allowing me to customize whatever I want on my car, from paint to rims. Like, it gets the job done there. The graphics are really spectacular. I do love the fact that they got the Top Gear guy in there. The biggest downfall is I don't get to drive the Warthog. I mean, what the hell is that? What the hell is that about? They put the Warthog in the game, and you can't even drive
Yeah, a lot of people had problems with that.
I mean, I would love. Do you know how awesome it would be to fucking slam a fucking Lamborghini into a wall, fucking Warthog? Like you don't even know. But that game, well, I mean, I love that game for what it has. It has content. It has a bunch of content for its single player, and it has a really good community for Xbox users to get into if you guys enjoy cars. So that's pretty much my list in a nutshell. Even though it's not the best list in the world, I wish it could have been better. All right. So the PS Vita is coming out next month, and it is a big deal right now. It's a real big deal for gamers, just because of what's going on with it. So far, it's not doing good overseas, and of course, Sony overseas. So it's kind of eerie to hear that their own product is not selling well, and it's coming down, like they're dropping the price down drastically. And, you know, in February, we're going to get our hands on it, and I want to ask everybody, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the PS Vita is going to be worth your purchase? Now, me personally, I am on the borderline of maybe, because one thing for sure that I do know, that the PS Vita is just going to upgrade itself, and it's like the iPhone. It's going to upgrade itself to the something better. It's going to be more space, and it might come with a bundle for a game or something. With the PS Vita, we're gonna get the handheld itself, and then we're gonna get a memory stick. We have to buy a separate memory stick, from what I've been told and what I've seen so far in articles. And honestly, the game lineup is not that spectacular. I mean, besides Uncharted coming out, I mean, I can see myself playing Uncharted for a good long while, but then when I beat it, then what else is there going to do on the PS Vita? Also, this thing is going to really be into apps. It's not going to be like the XMB on the PSP. It's going to really be more like an iPhone where you get apps for it and you got to wait for those to download, and everything is going to run by app. Your trophies are going to run by app. There's going to be so much downloading, and I don't know what it is about Sony and their downloading, but like...
Oh, nightmare. Nightmare is all I can say. It takes forever.
So, like, I'm on the borderline of maybe. I'm really, if I had to give you an answer of yes or no, I would have to say no, just because of the game lineup. Because only one game, to be honest, like, that's not fitting for me. But what about you, C4? Like, where do you stand?
As for right now, my stand is no. For the simple fact, I never buy a system day one. It's just one of my things I don't do, because, you know, buying something day one, you don't know what you're getting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like the Xbox 360 and they all are faulty and it's a recall, or, you know. And then not to mention the lineup, like you said, it just isn't anything, you know, gripping me besides Uncharted. So for me, I'm not really into handheld gaming like that. I prefer a nice big TV, a controller in my hand, you know.
Well, you know, they did say that, you know, the PS Vita is supposed to be the console on the go.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
It's looking real nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm liking what I'm seeing from it so far, but nothing really grabbed me and said you must have me day one, or, you know. Now down the road, I could see myself picking one up. You know, they get a bigger library of games. But for me, it isn't really grasping me yet. And that whole, I'm the type of person, if I get one, I'm going to want a 32 gigabyte memory unit. And considering I can get a 2 terabyte hard drive for $100, that's a no-go for me.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that whole memory unit thing is a huge disappointment in itself.
So, what about Monster Hunter? Like, I'm a big guy of Monster Hunter. They said that they probably might have Monster Hunter. Would that be a go for you? I mean, what games would you want to see? Like, for me, I would want to see Final Fantasy 14 be on the Vita if it's possible, because they did say that like your PlayStation 3 games will be able to go into your handheld.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said that like all your games, like if you stop playing like let's say Uncharted 3, I can like stop playing for a second and then get that game, put it on my handheld, and then continue playing. I don't know how simple this sounds or if this is how it actually works, but it does sound pretty interesting. What do you think about it?
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Hearing that, kind of, adds a bit of a cool factor to it that makes me want to check it out a little bit more. So, yeah, if that's the case, then you just told me a little something. I haven't really been following it because, like I said, I'm not really big on handhelds, so I haven't really been following it too much. But and a lot of the news I've been hearing has been negative. So, but I prefer to try something before I judge it myself. So until we get one over here, I'm kind of on the fence of no right now still, but.
Yeah, same here. Like I do like on my other channel, I asked the same question that we asked today about the PS Vita. Is it a go for us? And a lot of people still said no, and and it's just eerie because a lot of people in the States. I mean, we have smartphones. Like we have iPods,
iPads,
iPhones, smartphones, the Nintendo 3DS. I don't even think that can really go over the Nintendo 3DS and the smartphones. Personally, I don't see the purpose of this Vita because why would we get the Vita when we could probably get a smartphone for cheap and with a good memory?
To me, it's just I can appreciate it for what it is, but at the same time, in my opinion, as of late, Sony hasn't been quite good at delivering things at the right time. Now, I believe if they released the Vita back when the 3DS came out, it would have been a little more relevant. But the fact that even the 3DS was struggling when it first came out, I don't know.
That said a lot because I mean usually Nintendo is a beast when it comes to handhelds, and when the 3DS came out, it was like 3DS did bad. Say what? It was like it was very eerie to see. So,
but you had people questioning the market for handheld gaming back then. So it's like. I don't know. I think the future for the PS Vita is unknown right now. Granted, it is doing pretty bad in its homeland. That only tells you it's going to do even worse in America. But
what about the fact that the online pass? You're going to have to buy an online pass. Did you hear about that?
Did not hear about that, but it is.
Oh yeah, let me tell you how this works out. Pretty much the way I see it is that the PS Vita is going to be a free online experience, where we're going to be able to have a party chat feature on handheld, which also sounds very cool. Yeah. So, in order to have this, you have to have the service, the 3G service, to use this feature, or you can use your Wi-Fi. But I mean, the whole purpose of the handheld is to be, outside. So. 3G, you got to pay for the service, and granted, is by AT&T.
That was another con to the whole PSP for me. It's like if I'm already paying a cell phone bill, and I'm already paying for a data plan for my cell phone that I have now. Do I really want to spend another $25 to $30 for another service plan with another provider just for that?
Right.
That's another $30 coming out aside from the other $30 I'm paying for from Verizon or whoever anybody's with. Because a lot of people aren't with AT&T. It's a lot of people who are, but a lot of people aren't. And even if you are with AT&T, are you going to have to get another service plan out just for that?
I mean, that's a good question. I would not be down for paying for my Sprint and then paying for AT&T. What I would have been down with is if they pulled another way. Like there has to be another way, because I cannot see it doing that great that way unless you don't have a phone. I mean, if you don't have a phone, no service, no nothing, I can see people getting this. But if you have a phone, I mean, what you said makes so much sense. If you have a phone, I mean, what's the purpose of getting a Vita?
Exactly. Exactly.
You gotta be rich. You gotta be like fucking LL Cool J rich to fucking be going out throwing money to fucking AT.
I think they should have went the the Nokia route and tried to integrate a phone in with it or something, because
that would have been beast. Like,
a lot of people who don't have phones or who have an old crummy phone who want to update can go with that.
Granted, it will look like you're holding a taco, but like.
Yeah, that's what was that old phone called that failed? I forgot, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, though, like, and then it's gonna have like I was saying in the beginning, it has the online pass, and how it works is you pay the fee to get on, and that's about it. Like, and then they have firmware updates every I'm pretty daily. But I think the only way I'm gonna get this Vita is when hacks start coming in, which they're already coming in.
Oh yeah, you know that.
But
I got a quick question. You said are you gonna have to pay for the online pass before you play the game, or?
Yes, you're gonna have to pay. For what I heard about it,
or is it only for used copies of games?
It's gonna be. I'm not sure how they're doing it with their games. All I know is if you want to get online, you're gonna have to pay the online pass. I don't know if it's for all of them, for used games. That's some more research we're gonna do. Maybe our viewers can tell us about that. But the online pass that seems to be the big deal with the PS Vita, because no one wants to pay, and especially from the people who are on PlayStation 3 who are already getting free service. They're not gonna want to. They're not gonna feel the whole pay online thing.
Not to mention, a lot of PS3 fans have started to embrace PSN Plus. So
I have seen this.
So it just seems as though too many fees are being tacked on to this thing. It's like, okay, the system's $300, but then you got to pay for this, and you're gonna want to pay for the accessories, and nobody's gonna buy this and walk out there without a game. So you got to add in 2 games, and I heard those are gonna run from $20 to $50.
I mean, I mean that's insane. Think about it. You're buying. Let's see what you gotta buy. Let's see what you gotta get. You gotta get the handheld itself. That's like how much? Like
if most people are gonna get the Wi-Fi version, because that 3G version is gonna be a joke.
It is.
So it's $250, I believe.
Yeah, $250 then. Alright, so you're paying $250 for the Vita. Then you gotta get the memory stick. You gotta have memory to play your games and store your information and get your apps.
That's another thing a lot of people are going to be disappointed with, because most people are going to walk out there with a 4 gigabyte because the other ones are just ridiculously priced.
Exactly. The way. What is up with Sony like hyping up their prices?
I mean, you really can't only blame Sony, because Microsoft did it with the hard drives on the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
they made them, where you can only get them from them. Now, granted, now you can get some knockoff versions for $20-$30, which is reasonably priced. But Sony isn't the only ones guilty of this.
This is true. So I mean, you gotta get the memory stick. That is something that is important. Then you got to get some games, and that's gonna cost you, like you said, $25. I mean,
can't forget a carrying case. I mean, You can't. I mean, you look at that screen and you just paid $250 for something. You don't want it just sitting in your pocket. You got to get a carrying case.
Yeah, because the screen is that expensive. You're definitely gonna want a carrying case.
Exactly.
It's gonna cost you another $20. Bro, I think we're looking at like $400, $300 tops.
We're looking at a brand new slim 360 with a Kinect, and we're looking at a brand new PS3 with the Move or whatever. You're looking at consoles for the price of a handheld.
All right, so pretty much that's the nutshell about the Vita. I think we're pretty sure that we might not get this thing.
At least not day one for me.
Not day one.
You know, I'll wait till after E3, see what they bring into the table, and if they bring in enough to the table to pull me in, then I'm there.
I tell you what, if they bring me a Crash Bandicoot game,
oh man,
then you got me on board. Like I think that's all said and done. Like if you can pull that off for me, we can have a conversation about the Vita. But until then, I don't think it's gonna happen for me. So
or a WWE game.
I don't know. we're already having a rough time on the consoles. I don't know.
True.
So, step at a time. A man can only dream.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We talked about all we can talk about for today, of course. But we have more topics, more game discussions, much more things to talk about, and the upcoming future. And this is just the beginning. So, anything else you want to add in closing?
I just want y'all to stay tuned because we got a lot coming. We're going to have reviews. We're going to be, doing it up on here. We're not just going to be talking about video games. We're going to be talking about other things as well. So stay tuned.
So this is your boy, The Sith.
And this is your boy, C4.
And we are dipping out of here. Deuces.
Deuces.